Live, and we are live.
Oh, okay. All right. So I think I am actually the Sportazine account, but you started it. I don't know what. We've had all sorts of technical difficulties. We're 8 minutes late. My internet went out, so I'm using my neighbor's internet. So I sound okay, right, Evan?
Yeah, you sound great. I don't know what I sound like, but you
Okay.
sound great.
You sound good. So that's why you don't. Maybe I should just. I'm gonna go run and get Bucky because it doesn't seem like a show without Bucky. So give me just a second. We don't have any live viewers just yet. And Mark, who is a German living in Amsterdam, who is desperately hoping not for a Dutch-German final, he is not with us yet. He's not typically a Sportazine person, which is why I don't think you. Well, did you see Rhino's account information there?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, but so anyway, I'm gonna go grab Bucky real quick.
Okay, go grab Bucky.
We're at such an angle that I don't think anybody's gonna be able to see Bucky anyway. But unless I like stick him like right here or something. There we go. I don't know if this will work. Can I do a show like this? I don't think. I think he's gonna fall off.
No, he would fall backwards.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to. Although if I'm like leaning over and typing, which I may do some of, eventually I'm gonna kick him off. So, but
Yeah,
you
you
just watch the
couldn't
game
see
on
his
the couch.
face anyway.
Yeah. So, what I am going to do, and we still don't have any live viewers, so this is fine. I am going to tell Rhino to disregard
The invite.
the. So, yeah. Well, we will try to get Mark on for the halftime show, but I think we are far enough gone, far enough late into this where we should just go ahead and get going. I have got my notes over on this page, which I don't know if that's the best way to do this or not because I'm all sort of discombobulated. I've got well, people can't see it, and I'll probably make people nauseous if I move the camera around. But back over here where nobody can see where my finger is pointing, there is a TV actually, but it's hooked up to my laptop, and that is where I'll be, sort of glancing. So if you see my eyes go up there, that's because I'm watching for the national anthems to start,
Well,
and then
mine is
that is
directly above the screen, so if I'm looking like I'm looking into
okay.
that's
So we can both see. Okay, good. And I am still trying to figure out how the best way to deal with my show notes because normally I don't look at the screen. I think that's what I may do. I normally don't look at the video. I normally look at the show notes, and I think that's what I'm going to do because otherwise I'm just going to be like looking over here and not at not at the game or not at the camera basically. So anyway, I'm going to dispense with all the sort of like brief news sorts of things that we normally talk about at the very beginning of a show. Just because we started a little bit late here. I'm going to leave those in the show notes, maybe in the post game. Actually, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to knock them into the post game, and so we can talk some of that. If we don't have tons of things to talk about in the post game show. So, Brazil versus Germany. What can we take from that, looking into this upcoming Germany-Argentina match?
Well, we'd like to think that because Germany was able to do that to Brazil, that they should be the clear favorites. Not so much the case, because I think everybody kind of knew this Brazil team was maybe not overperforming, but was certainly getting lucky from the refs and maybe from a few uh, games where other teams weren't at their best. But still, 7 goals in one game just means that they're clinical. They are the
Well,
team.
they weren't entirely. I mean, Ozil should have had a goal. I mean, I realize the game was well past at that point.
That's true. He should have scored that one. I don't know at that point if that would have made it 6 or 7.
That would have made it 8, I think.
That would have been the 8th. Okay, I wasn't sure. I think it was near the end. Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because it was right before Oscar's goal. Like
Right.
right before it. I mean, they have a midfield that is tactician, clinical. That's what we expected. If the goals were there or the shots were there to be taken, you'd expect them to put them in the back of the net. Brazil just did a terrible job of letting them get wide open shots. They didn't close off any space or pressure anybody. So, 7 goals sounds bad, but if you watch the game, that's kind of what Brazil gave them. Argentina's not going to do that. So I don't think we can take much away from it. The defense looked good for Germany. They were still really upset that they gave that goal away to Oscar at the end. They'll need to do better defense for the whole game if they want to escape this without letting Messi score a goal or anybody else score a goal. Now, Argentina's without Di Maria, so that's one less weapon that they have to worry about from Argentina. I think if Germany can take a page out of the way the Netherlands defended Messi and defended Argentina, that Germany should find a way to score and win the game. Because Argentina honestly looked in the second half against Holland pretty weak offensively. I'm not sure if they changed anything from the first half to the second half, but I think Argentina had like 2 shots in the second half. So not a whole lot for them to have worried about. So if Germany takes a page out of that book, finds a way to score like they did against Brazil 7 times, I think Germany should win. But as far as what we can really take out of the Brazil game is that the lineup that Germany is putting out there is a good lineup.
Yeah, so Argentina a little bit in that. So Sergio Aguero came back. Now he's probably not 100% fit. You mentioned Di Maria is out, but they haven't had Aguero for the entire tournament. Well, I think he played in the first game and was hurt there. But he's back, and he may be slightly more fit than he was in the semifinal. So that could certainly change things.
Yeah, he came on again in the Netherlands game for a little bit. Maybe should have had some better touches. I think there was a cross or something that was played towards him. Maybe I'm thinking of a previous game where he should have gotten a piece of it, and he just didn't. He has not really impressed me, but as you said, he's been injured, not 100% when he played in the first game and played against the Netherlands. So I'm not sure what to expect from Aguero with anything. It's certainly somebody to worry about, more so than if they didn't have Aguero. I really think that it comes down to stopping Messi, though. I think if they can stop Messi, then you can stop Argentina.
So, I mean, Holland basically did that.
Yeah.
But
they lost on PKs. So
right.
If they could have scored, they would have won.
Right. So, I mean, Germany has not had PKs in the tournament. So, I mean, we know Argentina can do it, but, does that give them an edge, or is it a disadvantage because they don't have that recent tape to look at the run-ups and the keeper showed their hand a little bit?
Yeah, I don't know if it does or not. I just if you play the percentage game, I think Argentina, they scored all of theirs, so they would be due to miss some. Even though there's nothing, I guess, statistically or to say that somebody's due doesn't mean anything. But we saw this with the Netherlands because they had back-to-back PK games, and they score all of theirs against Costa Rica, And then they went up against Argentina and they missed two, or they had two saves. So I think it's a disadvantage for Argentina. I don't know if it's because Germany has a chance to see where they have gone or not. I don't think that means anything, because what is it they were doing? I think they gave the statistics, or somebody was telling Sorensen where the Argentina players like to shoot their penalties, and he was wrong like every single time. So what they've done in the past, I don't think means anything for the PKs. If we even get to that, I mean, we have to get to PKs to even mean anything.
Yeah. So what is your prediction for the score line, and at what point will that score line exist?
Well, I think Germany will score first. I don't know when they will score. It might be 0-0 going into halftime, or they might have scored off of a set piece or just a clinical counterattack. Not sure if they'll score in the first half or not, but I do think Germany will score first. I think that'll open up Argentina a little bit, especially towards the end of the game, because they will be pressing for that goal to tie it up. And I think in that, against the run of play, Germany will score a second goal and go up 2-0. And that could be the end of scoring, or Argentina may find a late goal and try to make a game of it during stoppage time. So I'm thinking it's either going to be 2-0 or 2-1. Germany wins.
So I picked Argentina to win it at the beginning, so I'm just going to stick with them. I think that Messi is going to come up with some sort of spectacular goal, and Argentina wins 1-0. That's my prediction.
I was thinking earlier, aside from Khedira, I don't know how many of these players have ever played against Messi. I know if Bayern Munich or Dortmund ever played against Barcelona in the Champions League, they might have had a chance to play against Messi. But Khedira, being at Real Madrid, certainly has a lot of experience against him. I just don't know about the rest of the defenders and midfielders. Right. Or if having one person, which is Khedira, who can say this is what he likes to do, don't let him do this, if that's enough.
I mean, they have game footage too. So, I mean, being there is, of course, different than watching game footage, but I don't know that, watching game footage is that much different than somebody telling you, this is what he likes to do.
True. It's true. I don't know where a lot of the Argentinian players play, but I don't think there's a whole lot of them in the Bundesliga, if any.
Well, I can tell you where they all play. So Romero plays at Monaco. He's the starting goalkeeper, and the other two goalkeepers play at Boca Juniors and Catania. Garay plays at Zenit St. Petersburg. Campanero plays at Internacional. Zabaleta plays at City. Demichelis, which I've heard some say Demichelis. I don't know. Is it Demichelis or Demichelis?
I always thought it was a ch sound, Demichelis, but I've heard both, so I don't know.
Yeah. And everybody, I think I've mentioned this on the show before, but when Brazil was playing, everybody was calling their inept striker Fred. And it's not Fred, it's Freggie. But that one always irritated me. But I don't know the proper pronunciation of that one there, because I had always thought it was Demichelis, and then I heard the announcer start saying Chelis. So anyway, where was I on this list? All right, Rojo, which means red in Spanish, if you're not familiar. He plays at Sporting. Federico Fernandez plays at Napoli. Basanta plays at Monterrey in the Mexican League. Fernando Gago plays at Boca. Biglia plays at Lazio. Di Maria at Madrid. Perez at Benfica. Maxi Rodriguez, Newell's Old Boys. Augusto Fernandez, Celtic Vigo. Mascherano at Barcelona. Alvarez at Internacional. Higuain at Napoli. Messi, Barcelona. Palacio Internacional, Aguero City, and Lavezzi, Paris Saint-Germain. So none of those are in the Bundesliga.
Some of them may have had some Champions League experience against some of these players at some point, but
well, certainly the City players played against Bayern in this year's Champions League. So,
but not all the players are there. I mean, Klose plays in the in Serie A, so I think you mentioned some Serie A players.
True, and Schürrle and Podolski play in the EPL.
And so does Ozil.
Yeah, Mustafi plays at Sampdoria, and Mertesacker plays in the EPL as well.
Yeah, I think most of them play of the starters anyway. You've got Klose and Ozil who play foreign in Italy and England respectively, but and Khedira plays in Spain. But I'm thinking about the rest of them: Euler, Götze, Cruz, Havedes, Boateng, Lam, all of the Neuer. I know Misson, Schweinsteiger, and Hummels. I think that rounds out the rest of the starters. All those play in Germany. And then you've got Schürrle and Podolski in the EPL. So I think that I don't think Podolski will play, but he may. I think Schürrle will play. I think he'll get in there. He seems to be a good sub for Joachim Löw to bring in off the bench. I don't know who they've all used off the bench so far, but they brought in the young player, the new player against Brazil because they were up by so much. But I think he also plays in Germany, which is something, I guess, a lot of players, I mean, this is true to the American players too. Wouldn't you say a lot of them want to play in their home country? I mean, if you're German, don't you want to play in the Bundesliga?
I mean, there's probably some truth to that, but, you know, if a team like Real Madrid comes calling, then you might do that. And it depends on what your heritage is, probably, to a certain extent. I mean, a lot of the Germans, I think they might be, like, German-born, but they're not German ancestry. I mean, some of them are from Turkey, for example. You know, and that's certainly an issue with the U.S. You know, some of them are German, some of them are Icelandic. So, and then there's Zalem, whatever, the Gideon, the Arsenal youth player, who, you know, I guess he's German too, but has Ethiopian heritage. So, you know, even if you're playing in your home country, not too many people play for their hometown club like Beasler does. I mean, particularly in the U.S., where there's not a club in, like, every city. You know, like I guess there's second division clubs, but you don't have, without promotion relegation, you don't have any hope of ever making it to the first division, where you might stick it out for a season in the second division with your hometown club if you're in another country, and then you try to get promoted. Or if you're in Germany, you just go to Bayern Munich because that's what everybody does.
Or apparently, you know, it's between. Is it?
Well, first you go to Dortmund, and then you go to Bayern Munich.
Yeah, you're at one of those two. Let's see. I was looking at the young person who got in for Germany. Yes, he is 20 and he plays at Schalke. So he was also from the German league. The one person who I don't think has seen any playing time, but he may have. He only has 4 international caps. Is Mustafi. He was the one that I failed to mention. He also plays in.
Oh, Mustafi definitely did. He came in against. Was it? I think he came in against Algeria.
Okay. He only has 4 caps. He's 22, but he is one of the players playing abroad in Italy for Sampdoria. Sampdoria.
Sampdoria. Yeah, I already mentioned him.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a total of what is it? 6 players that don't play in Germany, which, I mean, I don't know if that speaks to them wanting to stay at home, if that speaks to the strength of the German the Bundesliga. Uh, their UEFA coefficient is not nearly as high as the other league, or 2 or 3 of the other leagues.
I was wrong and I was right. So Shkodran, it's Shkodran, Mustafi. He started against Algeria and came out in the 70th minute, and Khedira went in for him. I think he's been their starting right back all tournament. Well, until Lahm started playing right back.
That would make sense, but I thought they had. Let me go back. I know they were playing like 4 center backs, which was ridiculous. They should have been playing, if they were playing 4, it could have been him. It would have been Hvedes, Hummels, Boateng, and it could have been Mustafi. I don't know why they wouldn't have gone with Mertesacker other than that he's really slow.
Yeah, you wouldn't play Mertesacker as a right back.
No, he would have played. I think Hvedes has been playing at left, Hummels and Boateng in the middle, and Mustafi on the right, or they could have been playing Boateng out wide, which is what I thought they were doing. But I'd have to go back and look. It is interesting that they don't have. I mean, you have all of the Germans in all of their positions, but they don't really have wing backs. Lahm, should be a right back, but he's been playing in the midfield for Bayern Munich. I know their left back is Alaba, who is not German. So they don't really have a left back, but you don't have another quality.
Who plays right back for? Does Rafinha play right back for Munich?
I don't know who it is.
Because Rafinha is a right back, but I always thought he was deputizing Lahm. But it never dawned on me until now that Lahm was not playing at right back. So he's a 76 in FIFA. In case
I don't know when that transition happens for when Lahm stepped into the midfield. I also don't know why they needed that. Why they felt like they needed that, but it certainly worked for them in the Bundesliga this year. Of course, they also have Dante, who plays, but he's a center back. There's Rafinha. Of course, Wikipedia doesn't have what side they play on. It just says defender.
Yeah. Well, here's some live Wikipedia reading on Mustafi. On June 16th, Mustafi appeared as a substitute in Germany's opening World Cup game against Portugal, coming on in the 73rd minute to win his second cap. In the team's second match, he again came on as a substitute, replacing Jerome Boateng at half against Ghana. He was selected to start at right back in Germany's round of 16 match against Algeria, but was substituted in the 70th minute due to an injury in his left thigh. It was later confirmed by the DFB that Mustafi would take no further part in the World Cup due to his torn fiber muscle.
Ooh.
So we will not be seeing him at right back today.
To answer your question, Rafinha does, in fact, play at right back.
Yeah. And I guess since he came on to replace Jerome Boateng against Ghana, Jerome Boateng was playing there against Ghana. It doesn't say who he came on for in Portugal, in the Portugal game. And then, like I said, he started against Algeria. So, but with Khedira and Schweinsteiger both back to something close to full fitness, that means Lahm is playing right back today, right?
Yes, at least that's what the lineup, they showed had him at right back.
Okay.
We've talked a lot about Germany. We haven't talked a lot about Argentina.
Well, I know that and I have to go back to the video. Oh, Mark is here.
He is in.
Can we hear
Yes, I
Mark?
made it.
Ah, nice. You were just listening so quietly.
Yeah, of course. I missed the beginning of the whole thing, so I have to listen and to understand where you are.
Yeah. I like how you're holding a microphone. Like, I feel like you're going to bust into a rap or something.
This is the more interesting part here, because you wanted to have a skull. I thought, and I make a compromise. So I took the Chaos Computer Club logo from the 80s.
Nice.
Oh, that's cool.
So, Mark is a German living in Amsterdam, as I mentioned before, and he's going to survive the day since the Dutch did not make it to the final. Basically, I'd like to get your thoughts on the German national team.
Yeah, I mean, they are playing successfully since years, and they are playing together since years. So it was just more or less expected from the whole country that they are getting very far, and getting to the final is like far enough. So even if they lose, I don't think there's going to be a problem with it. But I believe that everyone wants to take the chance, because it was like the last two times it was very, very, yeah, tragic kind of. And oh, the oven is calling me. So I think they're gonna give the best, and we have Müller and we have Klose, and I don't know how they're gonna come onto the field, but I'm pretty positive about the team, because they played for such a long time together already.
All right. Well, we can let you take the phone call, and then we can get some more thoughts when you're done with that. So yeah, so he said, I think what he was meaning that they've been playing successfully. I think going even back to the youth teams that these guys have come up, but a lot of these guys were introduced by the U.S. national team manager Klinsmann in 2006. I don't know. I don't think any of them played in 2002.
Not from this team. If any of them did, it would have been Klose. But I don't know if he dates back that far.
Yeah. So let's talk about Klose. He broke Ronaldo's. That's another one that bothers me, saying Ronaldo instead of Ronaldo, even though you probably catch me doing it on occasion. But he broke the scoring record, and but I mean I don't know what to think of that. In a game like that, it's just he just scored one goal, so it's not like he scored 7 and now he's got the record.
Well, I mean, I'm sure, Ronaldo was a part of some games like that where he scored, one or more goals in a blowout. So I wouldn't say that it's unfair that he was in a blowout 7-1. I do think it was almost not iconic, but I do think there was kind of some irony in the fact that it was against Brazil when he did it, and he broke the record. I do think that was an interesting fact. A little footnote to do this. He broke a Brazilian's record against Brazil.
Right.
I mean, he's just got some longevity, but yeah, go ahead.
It was an awesome game, but nobody expected this. It's like it was exceptional, and I think that's what it was. And there's sometimes you have days everything works together, and then you just go for it, and then you're surprised when you look afterwards how it all went. I think it's actually a problem at the moment, because the motivation after that game is really high, but also the expectations are really high. So and I'm not sure which if it about the weight of that. Of course every player wants to give its best, but they now have this pressure of this 7-1 game, and it's not going to be any close to the Brazilian game, because it's a complete different team that is standing on the field tonight, knowing also about this 7-1 and trying to do everything not to get any goal in. I mean, they received 3 goals in the whole tournament so far, so it's not gonna be a very exciting game, I guess, and at least not in the beginning.
I'd said that there might not be a goal in the first half. I said if we might see a goal in the first half, but I don't think we'll. I think we'll be sitting here at halftime with a 0-0 game.
Yeah, and if you take out the 2 Nigerian goals, which was just a wide open game, then they've only given up the 1 against Bosnia. They haven't given up a single goal in the knockout rounds when there was arguably better competition. They've been pretty solid, which is interesting because everybody thought that the weakness of Argentina was going to be their defense coming into the World Cup.
Yeah.
So we already did predictions, Mark. What's your prediction for a score line today?
I'm gonna be very national tonight, so I say 4-2.
4-2.
Everything happens from after 75 minutes.
Wow, that's a lot of goals in 15 minutes.
That's how we all like it.
The game is going to open up, and the floodgates, just goals aplenty.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you gotta chase it if you're behind. So, and there's no like saving people for next game. So,
no,
you might as well go for it. So, well, just so you know, I think that, and I called Argentina to win it at the beginning, and it's hard to pick against Germany right now, but I think that Argentina is going to hold the floodgates, and Messi is going to end up producing some sort of magic, and Argentina is going to win 1-0, and he's going to cement his legacy behind Maradona. I don't know, though, like a 1-0, I still think he hasn't had, even though he's been the leader of the team, I don't think even scoring a goal today would put him above Maradona. What do you guys think?
Go ahead.
Yeah. They were talking about that earlier on, I think, on ESPN. If this would cement his place as like the greatest Argentinian of all time, and there were some agreements that it would not put him over Maradona. I don't think it would either. I mean, he's been fantastic, but it's just been this one World Cup when Maradona had years and years of success with the national team. So I would still put Maradona 1 and Messi 2 after this one.
I believe it's just like, okay, Maradona for me as like just not a specialist in football, but I see like national games all the time. I think the only thing that is for Maradona is a game where he scored a goal with his hand. So that's why he's famous. Messi is like classes above him for me personally already. So I don't know what this Maradona all the time has to show up in the media. I don't think he's needed anymore.
He has the goal. Well, I mean, I don't know about him being in the media, but just as far as like the world's all-time greatest players, he did more than just that one play. I mean, he like basically dribbled past all of England in that same game. I mean, that wasn't the only goal that was scored in that game. I mean, he carried that 1986 side. I mean, it wasn't just that one game where he did that. I mean, it was him that year.
Sure, but you know what I mean. This is like, why do they always bring him on stage?
Yeah.
Say really nothing, and it's just like, you feel ashamed when you hear his nonsense. It's just like, I don't know why they're destroying him like that.
Yeah, and this is just a note because I think some people forget this, but Argentina won in '78, but that was not with Maradona. Maradona was not on that team, so.
I think I may have thought he was on that team.
Yeah, he won the U20 World Cup in 1979 with Argentina. Actually, I take that back. He won the Golden Ball in that U20 World Cup. So he wasn't with the national team yet. So he did play in the '82 World Cup, but they weren't that good. So '86 was really his World Cup, even though he was there in '90, and he would have played in '94, except for it was diet drugs because he was so overweight. So, but it was ephedrine was banned, so he got punished for using a banned substance. Which, I mean, it's ironic given Maradona's history of drug abuse that it's ephedrine that gets him banned and not, say, cocaine. But, so I think that I was hearing you mumble, Evan.
I was saying true. As I was looking at, I was just seeing. I mean, I think it's easy now. I think we do this in all sports, but I think it would be easy now to say that. You look at it now and think Messi is better than Maradona because Messi is in the moment. But I also think that there's more, publicity for him to be popular worldwide. In Argentina, we'd have to ask some Argentinians on who better is in Argentina. Of course, now with Twitter, internet, everybody, well, not everybody, but a lot of people have internet. Everybody can see these games online, see the highlights online of Messi, and see it in real time, where they have to go back and look at some more grainy footage of Maradona to see what he did. When they don't, people my age, Maradona didn't play in a World Cup since I've been born. Where Messi is in the moment, I can see him and know what he's going up against. But I can't say the same for Maradona. But when you take a step out of it, Messi retires. Who are we going to remember more? I think that's down to the Argentinians more than anybody else. Because I think worldwide you'd say Messi.
So I was interested by your stance on Maradona, Mark. So I'm going to ask a different question just to place your thoughts on Messi. Who do you think is the best player in the world right now? Is it Ronaldo, or is it Messi, or is it somebody else?
It's probably about the most complete player. So I think Messi is the number one, for me at least.
What about you, Evan?
I think it changes year by year. It has the past 2 years. I think this past year I would have said Ronaldo, but in the 2 or 3 years beforehand I would have said Messi. But I think that Messi had some injuries this year. I don't think he was quite all the time in form with Barcelona. I mean, he did still score a lot of goals and still had a lot of impact, but Barcelona wasn't as good because I don't think Messi was as good.
Yeah, Messi certainly did not have a good season this year, but by his standards anyway.
So I would, for right now, I mean, Ronaldo's injured and out of the World Cup, and Messi's still playing, and he's still being a big impact on the team. I mean, right now, today, I would pick Messi.
So another question, because I don't know why this has really captured my imagination, but it has. So Messi or Pelé, or again somebody else, maybe Platini or somebody. I don't know.
Messi or who?
Pelé. Who is that? I mean, if it's not Maradona, because you don't seem to think very highly of Maradona, then Pelé is the person who is always talked about as being the best ever. I mean, maybe Zidane gets into that conversation. Maybe some of the older Brazilians like Zico. I don't know. But Pelé is always the one that people in the U.S. go for. So has Messi overtaken Pelé for you, or is it still Pelé?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of diversity over there, and depending on the systems which the players are into, they may not shine to the outside world so bright, but if you look closer, then you find people like Khedira, who has like a control over a game that is just fantastic, and but he will never be like in the spotlight like those Messi or Ronaldo guys,
Okay. Yeah, because he's not a goal scorer. That's fair. That's fair. So, what about you, Evan? I think Pele is captured the U.S. imagination because he played here.
Yeah.
So,
I think there was a whole lot of, I guess, probably marketing of look at who's coming to play in America with Pele. I mean, again, never got to see him play. Never got to see him play live or anything. Like I could watch Messi play all the time. I can only go off of stories. I can go off some grainy footage that they have every now and then. And I can go off the records that his scoring records. I think he averaged like a goal every other game, or something better than that across his entire career. So international club, I think his goal scoring record was tremendous. But you have to look at the defenses that he was playing against at the time versus the defenses Messi's playing against now. I would probably still go Pele, but I would really have to sit there and think about it.
yeah, so I wanted to you mentioned, I think it was yesterday, but it doesn't matter when it is, but that if you had to pick a club side, it would be Dortmund, Mark. So I wanted to see if you had any particular thoughts on the Dortmund players that are playing for Germany. There are a few.
Oh yeah, there are a few, and I think they're doing a good job. But I guess probably Bayern sent most of the players. If you look at all the teams, because many of them are playing in other national teams. So, but with Dortmund, I lived there for a while, so that's why mainly why I would pick that team. Although I'm not like following the club championships religiously. I follow it, but yeah, as like day-to-day news, not so much as a fan.
Right. I know that you follow the German national team, Evan. Do you have a German club team that you follow?
I guess if I had to choose follow would not be the correct word. If I had to go with it would be Bayern Munich, just because a lot of the national team players do come from Bayern Munich, and they are the ones that I guess if you look at the Champions League potential, it is Bayern Munich usually year in and year out. I mostly go for the players that I like the most when it comes to the German league, and so most of those would probably be at Bayern Munich if I had to pick one.
I should have worn my St. Pauli t-shirt, but I did give it a little thought. I was just like, oh, I'm gonna cheer for Sweden today. I'm gonna be ironic and wear my Swedish t-shirt. I thought about wearing the jersey, but I was like, I do not want to wear two shirts, and I usually wear a shirt underneath that because I don't have the AC on. Depending on how things go here, that may change during the second half because it's quite warm in here, and actually, maybe we'll see if I turn this fan around if it interferes with the mic at all. Probably not if it's not pointing at the mic. But yeah, there's not any St. Pauli players getting anywhere close to the national.
No, unfortunately not.
No.
Time they had I think Colombian, but I'm gonna have to double check that. But they had a national team player playing for them, but not a German national team player. So Zambrana,
the current team.
Yeah, they're down in the second division now. So although we have had some U.S. Internationals that have played in the German second division, Edson Buttel went over there and played for a while. I don't think there are any currently in the Bundesliga too. Do you know, Evan?
In the second. No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
There could be some that could potentially play for America for like young players.
Oh yeah, absolutely, but none that Edson Buttel now plays for the Colorado Rapids, in case anybody is like, where did Edson Buttel go? Because he was doing well before the 2010 World Cup, and then he just sort of like after the World Cup went back into moderate obscurity. I mean, he went to the German second division, which, unless you're in Germany, I would say is probably obscurity. I mean, any second division anywhere in the world is going to be moderately obscure as far as national team players are concerned. So,
well, I did a quick search. There are 4 that are listed here, but one is Terrence Boyd. Where is he playing at?
Terrence Boyd, yeah, that's true. He just got a contract with the second division club. He was playing at a Vienna side, Rapid Wien. I think that's pronounced right, but I don't know if Wien is Austrian/German for Vienna. I don't. Huh?
Would it be Wien or Wien?
Wien? I don't know. I don't know how different Austrian German is from regular.
To we with an N.
Well, I found 4. He was one of the 4. He plays with Leipzig by German, now it's awful. Leipzig. And then Ingolstadt, there's Alfredo Morales, 1860 Munich, Bobby Wood, and then Sam Husen is Andrew Wooten. So there are 4 players, it looks like, that are currently in the second division.
So I'm watching the game actually via internet, so because I have no TV over here.
Yeah, well, I have a TV, but I'm doing the same. So I think Evan is as well.
It's gonna be cool because it's like I'm always like 30 seconds after my neighbors, and if they are as loud as in the past games, you may hear them. So like before I see something.
Well, we're gonna close it up here. I don't actually have the sound on, so I assume they're out of the tunnel and they're lined up. So we're probably gonna get going pretty soon. But I wanted to mention here, it was Peru, and it's Carlos Zambrano was the guy that played for FC St. Pauli when they were in the first division, and now he plays for Frankfurt, which I assume is in the top division, but I don't know off the top of my head. I think they're a yo-yo team, Frankfurt. But
that's technically my home team.
Ah.
So yeah, but we say also Zwietracht Frankfurt, so which is like kind of a infight, like with yourself.
What's the infight?
In their name is like Eintracht means something like unity.
Oh.
But we say Zwietracht, so because they are always fighting with themselves, because they win one game and then they think they win the Champions League, or it's like always the same. When Frankfurt wins like 3 games in a row, then they are world champion already. It's just kind of funny.
Well, I think on that note, we are going to call it for the pregame. They are singing the German national anthem right now, so I will have to send additional invites for the halftime show. And if I don't know if we are 30 seconds behind on the U.S. stream or not. And I won't ask you whether your stream is legal or not. But in the U.S., ESPN, as long as you have a subscription to a cable provider that provides ESPN3, it's actually legal to watch it online here, which is kind of nice. So
over here it says well legal. I watch it on the public television channel here.
Nice.
So
nice.
It's legal.
Fantastic. Well, this has been the Free Culture Sports Show, and we'll be back at halftime. Enjoy the game.